off. So let's see where we start this time. Metalow decides to go to Quick. Coltaho does the same. Quickman is one of the first levels that you're probably going to be seeing a lot in these tournaments because of the quick access to an E-Tank and a life up, which probably is pretty detrimental for these kinds of seeds.
Definitely. There's only a few racers that definitely go different. You know, Kamaseddin is one of those type of people because he is a Buster only player. And he wants to do that in these randomizer races. He can just kind of do whatever he wants in terms of how he wants to run the race. And it doesn't really bother him since he's no need of any of the weapons.
Right. Right now in Quickman stage, there's not too many notable enemies. While the Shopman likes to pick you off as soon as they come on screen, there are definitely worse enemies that could have been in this area. Well, there is one such enemy.
Oh. Spoke a little too soon.
And the rando does that. It give us things and take us away. But yeah, this time it looks like both our runners are moving pretty smoothly this time around. No deaths on the force beams yet. Coltaho decides to take another extra life for added safety, while Metalow is just continuing to just beam on down to... Wow, what an interesting enemy combination.
Oh yeah, having those there with the monkeys is definitely could cause a big issue.
And right now, it looks like we got sync doors. As we got Flashman as our first opponent in Quickman's room. Really slow. Like moves like molasses, but jumps like Mario.
Looks like both of them are going to get through it just about at the same time.
Looks like we got ourselves a good start this time around. Coltaho and Metalow getting their both kills pretty much less than a second apart from each other. But this is still rando. We don't know what's coming up next. So... let's see, what we got a flash sighting from Metalow, we got a flash sighting from Coltaho. Coltaho taking a little bit of more time trying to find Flash's area since there are spots on the select screen is randomized as well.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do next, because I know once they do Flashman, I'm sure they're going to switch different bosses, and then that'll definitely kind of change up the pace of the game and see who's going to end up pulling ahead.
Indeed, and as for right now, there are an insane mind and body as they continue on to Flashman stage. We did see that the walls were not weak to Buster this time around, as both Metalow and Coltaho did try to shoot the Buster on the walls and obviously it tinked off. So we don't know what the walls are going to be weak to until much later on. And we got moles again.
It's crazy to see that in both these seeds. It's just such a hassle for that part.
Yeah, Coltaho trying to stay on top, trying to get that E-Tank, but the drills are just not having any of it. But Metalow usually forgoes that E-Tank anyway, so it's not surprising that he skips it anyway. Meanwhile, we got Woodman as our flash boss with slow-moving leaf shield.
Metalow definitely makes it look easy, though. Woodman is definitely a weird character to have in this part of the game, just because of the way the whole stage is like positioned in Flashman's.
The crash bombs are doing work. Oh, he squeezes right through the leads with 2 units of energy left. Wow! What a risk! We got ourselves a risk taker here, folks.
Yeah, Coltaho definitely makes you hold your breath. And see, Metalow's taking the airman route, and we got the falling crabs, which has definitely been one of the biggest nemesis in this randomizer race I've seen.
It's my #1 nemesis. I despise crabs in air. I cannot tell you how many times crabs screwed me over in this particular stage, especially during the older versions. For what people don't know, as the Airman stage has been redesigned to help with any potential glitching from the Lightning Lords, especially with birds. If birds was in the open air section while you're trying to get to the Lightning Lords, there's the potential chance that the clouds would despawn and you will not be able to finish Airman stage. But in the meanwhile, while I was saying that, Coltaho takes yet another nasty little spill.
Yeah, that will be a second death in this stage alone. These crabs definitely don't show any mercy.
The sad thing is that the crabs have a predicted pattern, but at the same time you still don't expect them sometimes. You talk about the Fannish Inquisition, no one talks about the Crabbish Inquisition.
Oh, and Coltaho goes down again for third time. Definitely need to take it a little bit easier, take it a little bit slower to get through this. I mean, he's not too far behind from Metalow, so if he was to take a game over here, it would definitely send him back.
But Metalow's not having too much trouble at all, getting by the Joe airfields yet again on his way to the air boss room. This time, looks like we got to deal with Quickman in Airman's boss room. Pretty jumpy, doesn't stay on the ground too long, and he's pretty strong to the Buster.
It definitely could be a little bit annoying when those clouds there too, because you don't know if he's gonna jump a little bit. You know, when he jumps high, you don't know if he's gonna jump a little shorter, if he's gonna go for a longer jump.
I would probably say I would not like having a short jump Quickman. His short jumps are just annoying enough that you can be pretty much rarely able to jump over him when he tries to jump. It's just really a really annoying potential AI he could get. Meanwhile, Coltaho is just kind of trying to survive long enough.
I believe this is possibly his last life here, so he really needs to take it slow. I know this is a race, and it's a speed run type of race, but for the deaths that he's taking now, definitely don't want to see him take a game over.
Yeah, plenty of people can be really tilted if they get a game over in such an unflattering way. Meanwhile, we're dealing with dual Joe sightings in both Metal Man and Airman stage. Coltaho doing a little farming for some health. Fortunately, the fact that this is an easy mode race, it does take from the normal mode of the US version of Mega Man 2, and that the drop rate is much higher.
Oh wow, he still has another life. It's very lucky.
Jeez, Coltaho's making me train my vocal ranges.
Definitely holding my breath quite a bit every time I see him do certain things.
Metalow getting the E-Tank and going for the pause buffer jumps, which he does successfully. Pretty much a nice little stroll before he goes into Metal Room, where we're gonna see what our next boss is.
Definitely getting that E-Tank is great, as long as you don't have any enemy that can really take you off that ledge. Usually, for the most part, you can get over with pause buffering.
It was really hard to see with the lag, but I think we had a really super aggressive Crash Man. When I mean super aggressive, I mean he has the potential AI that could spam Crash Bombs regardless if there's a Crash Bomb already on the field. If that's the case, the stage becomes a literal lag fest. But regardless of the matter, Metalow dispenses of Crash Man and goes straight for Bubble Man stage. Meanwhile, Coltaho's almost struggled against Quickman stuck with the Buster, used the eating, but finds that Leaf Shield does considerable damage.
Yeah, this Bubble Man stage definitely looks like he's going around in some toxic water.
Well, it must be purifying toxins because it's now pretty much clear blue now. Another little tidbit about some of the colors. If you go to the beginning of Bubble Man stage, if you notice the coloring under the platforms in the very beginning, that's going to be the same color as your water.
And Coltaho takes the game over at Metal Man stage and has to start over.
Yeah, that death was definitely intentional, so he can start off fresh. Not to mention, it actually gives him an extra E-tank, so it's not a bad idea.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, it does, waste some time, but I mean, for the sake of what happened in the Airman fight and all the lives he had lost, I mean, it only made sense to just kind of get it over with, take the death, get the game over, get your lives back, and start all over.
See, now we got Heatman in the Oxymoron fight as he fights him underwater. Pretty decently paced Heat, not too slow, not too fast, kind of vanilla speed Heatman, and it looks like it's gonna be a pretty long fight. He's not weak to Buster.
Metalow taking a little bit of damage. He needs to watch himself as these patterns go down.
But look like he got himself in a nice rhythmic pattern. Hopefully he won't take an extra hit. He cannot take any hit from Heatman or his atomic fire.
Definitely gets through with that it needs.
Coltaho not having any trouble in Metal Man stage, about to take on his Crashman fight. Meanwhile, we still have yet to see any items. Is this going to be our first item sighting? Yes, it is. We find item 2 in Bubble Man stage.
And with that, he's going to go right into Heatman and just utilize that item 2.
Might need to double check and see if he has item 3 already as well. But I do not remember seeing item 3 at least. Normally you will probably come here if you have item 3 along with item 2, so you can at least maximize your vanilla zips in this stage. Probably just taking the gamble because of the rest of the stages probably be more beneficial with items as well.
And we definitely got the birds again in Heatman, which definitely, like I said, can cause a threat, but Metalow makes it look pretty easy.
Well, the enemy set makes it look easy. There's really not too many issues with the enemy set, but it looks like we're gonna have to deal with fans incoming. The Fantasy Inquisition has arrived again, slowing down our runner. And with no vertical movement items to zip through the ceilings, you're gonna have to be forced to deal with these fans.
Definitely finds a weakness with Leaf Shield.
Does he make it? Trying to pause buffer, wisely decides to back off as he thought he probably wouldn't make. Hey, we found ourselves a wall weakness, but finds the death just as quickly. This was actually be another stage that you could try to check for wall weaknesses if you don't have items to zip through the stage. But finding Leaf Shield and finding it early is actually a pretty big boon for Metalow.
I mean, on top of it, since the Leaf Shield can go in different types of directions, it actually makes it a lot easier for him when he goes through the boo beams to basically get through that without ease. Or with ease, I'm sorry.
Nah, I get what you're saying. Meanwhile, Metalow's trying to figure out if there is a potential weakness for Heatman. He ain't finding anything. Meanwhile, Metalow finally safely gets through our fan-infested heat stretch and about to use the item 2 to forego the Yoku block area. Coltaho wisely decides to take the eating as Heatman's giving him quite a bit of a beating. At the same time, it looks like we got Metalow coming into our next boss in Heat Room. Let's see what we got. So we got a fast spamming Metal Man in Heat Room, while Coltaho finally dispenses of Heatman in Bubble Room.
Definitely had the speed of Nolan Ryan's fastball with those metal blades.
So let's see if Metalow's gamble pays off when we find ourselves an item. We found ourselves item 3. So Metalow's suggestion to go to Heatman paying off, and he goes straight to Woodman stage, while Coltaho does follow suit, but I believe Coltaho is still about a Robot Master behind. And we got some Stealth Crushers just picking off both Metalow and Coltaho. Fortunately, the Crushers also are subject to the Randomizer's weakness chain, so you can actually destroy them, as in vanilla, they are usually invincible. So Matt, tell me, what do you think about how this Woodman stage has been playing out so far? Because I believe Metalow is going to be trying for yet another zip.
Doing the Goodwood zip, which, like you said, is definitely difficult if there's the wrong type of characters. It definitely make it difficult, but it definitely speeds up the process. Although I haven't seen a lot of people use the Goodwood as I thought I would have. So, I mean, it could come and go for pretty much anybody. But if you can't get it and execute it, I mean, it definitely saves a lot of time.
You're pretty much seeing the difference right now between Coltaho and Metalow, who decides. You're pretty much seeing the benefits of a good wood zip and a not zip situation in this particular stage right now.
Metalow definitely makes that look super easy.
Well, Airman gave him a pretty favorable pattern, pretty much no resistance from the air shooters, and give Metalow a straight, clear shot at him. Coltaho using the item 2 to fly through the rest of Woodman stage on his way to his Airman fight. And I did not see if Woodman was holding item 1. And I don't think he was. Which means item 1 might be locked in here.
Looks like it is, after him switching over to the item 2 to try to get up there a little bit faster.
Coltaho taking a death on Airman stage, revved up to try the Airman fight yet again. Got a little of a blocking from our Lightning Lords. But not too significant that they're a significant threat to progress, like a few other enemies could.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is probably one of the better ones you want to have.
Metalow maximizing the item 2 usage, using it on that small little straightaway. Also having them with decline to get through the crash climb a little faster. Those little ingenuities that can help save quite a bit of time. Meanwhile, Coltaho's still not too far behind, going through Heatman stage as Metalow finds some pretty unfortunate news.
Oh man, those shrimps can definitely be a huge hassle.
But Metalow was able to sustain himself long enough for the shrimp to be out of position so they don't knock him off, and Metalow was able to complete his crash climb, opting to forego the E-Tank to trade that for pure speed.
Definitely got some more fanboys there. Could definitely be annoying and waste your time at this part.
Well, Coltaho's about to figure that out firsthand as he now takes his chance at the fan-filled infested Heatman stretch. Meanwhile, we got a pretty spastic Bubble to deal with. Bubble's randomized heights. Metalow almost taking a death, rolling the dice yet again, wanting to pretty much out spam Bubble Man. Successfully does so though.
Yep, does it without any problem whatsoever.
Meanwhile, Coltaho is having a particular problem in and of itself. As usual, we got a fat fan just trolling our guy, sending him to his pit of doom.
He also did get to find out though that the leaf shield is the weakness for the walls, so at least something came out of it.
Well, Metalow has defeated his 8 Robos and is about to traverse the terrors that is Wily 1. It's that time again where we like to guess the color of the dragon. So for those that are new here, we like to guess the color of the dragon, as the randomizer pretty much randomizes the color of a majority of the sprites that are in the game. The Mecha Dragon is no exception. So people in chat and you too, Matt Philly, guess the color of the dragon, and if you want extra credit, guess the weakness as well.
I think I'm gonna go pink this time, and I'll go with charged heat as the weakness.
So you're going for the randomizer standard of pink.
Yes.
Alright, then I'm gonna go with my randomizer unstandard and do my usual monochrome dragon. A lot of grays and whites and potential blacks. And we're gonna hope for air shooter to be the weakness. Anyway, we find that our item 1 was actually not all that useful to begin with. So crash zipping will probably have been really hard. Well, any zipping with item 1 would be really hard. So item 1 is not as much of a factor this randomizer seed. Coltaho finishing off Metal Man. I believe he only has Crash Man left, and we got ourselves a pretty blue dragon. So we're wrong on all counts as far as color goes. And as weakness as well, we both get 0s. Buster Weak Dragon. Probably one of the most favorable outcomes that you can get. All the Wily bosses have a slight chance to be weak to Buster. But if it's immune to Buster, all the Wily bosses will have a weakness to some weapon that is not Time Stopper. Time Stopper will never be a weakness for a Wily boss. So as Coltaho continues his climbing on Crashman stage, Metalow is flying on his item 2, pretty much grooving to the music, doing some little back and forth wiggling as he does his item 2 fly. Yeah, you gotta admit, Duckfist chose some pretty good tracks from assorted ROM hacks and other game franchises for this randomizer. Of course, while the vanilla is still available, it will be the heartthrob of many nostalgia buffs. I just like hearing the different soundtracks in these games.
It's definitely interesting to see what kind of song you're going to get in a level that you're playing. Sometimes it's a really good. Well, I don't. They're all good, but usually it'll be a really good fast song that kind of gets you pumped up for the match. Or sometimes it's just something really like happy-go-lucky, so it just doesn't go with the level, and it's actually kind of funny.
Fitting as opposed to unfitting.
Yeah.
Coltaho getting the bad news about the shrimp spam and finds himself having quite a bit of trouble with the climb, but he does have Time Stopper to help ease the blow a little bit. Well, a little. Coltaho almost got up, but just got a little too comfortable. Just stopped using the flash stopper, the time stopper, and is now struggling to make the climb.
Metalow finding Metal Blade basically being pretty much one of the better options for the Pico Picos for him.
It's a two-shot Metal Blade, probably because it uses much more energy than it usually normally has. It looks like 2 uses per 1 bar, so that gives you about 56 Metal Blades, probably about half as much as you probably would get in vanilla.
Yeah, he definitely still has quite a bit of ammo, so I mean he can go get one health restored just real quick to help him out right now in Wily 3, and then he'll be fine.
Coltaho opting to take the 1-up, which is very wise. He was on 0 life, so he at least have a life to spare for his final boss.
Speaking of the Happy-Go-Lucky soundtrack, this definitely is one of my favorite Happy-Go-Lucky tracks that come on this randomizer.
And definitely not really fitting for a Wily stage, but
definitely
not.
That's
what the rando gives. But anyway, the long spike floor area underwater, pretty friendly with the enemies this time around. So Metalow was able to get through it pretty safely. So we're gonna see what enemies we got here on our final stretch towards the Guts tank. And we got one-shot monkeys. So pretty easy stretch for our way to Guts tank.
Coltaho getting ready to start his Wily 1 now. So they're about what 2 stages apart from each other at this point?
Well, once Metalow dispenses him with vanilla weak quick boomerangs, it's going to be about 3 stages actually.
That's true.
So yeah, hopefully Coltaho will recover from his last battle in the last race against the Mega Dragon, but since it's Buster Week this time, he should have less of a problem than it was with those awkward quick boomerangs in the first race.
Metalow going into, I guess, Brown Hell, we can call it this time. Definitely curious to see what awaits him once he gets to the spike area.
Right now, opting to use his item 3s to traverse the first vertical climbs. Wondering if he's probably gonna try to save his item 3s, because he does like to use item 3 for his gate crash zip towards the end of Wily 4 en route to Boo Beam. So we're gonna see how he's gonna conserve his item 3. Meanwhile, Coltaho is still trying to make his way towards the Mega Dragon. Right now, not having too many issues. Hopefully, like we're saying, we're hoping he has a much better attempt at the Mega Dragon this time as opposed to last seed.
Metalow's getting a little bit of lag from those from the wheelbarrows. And that can also cause quite a bit of a problem because, as you can see, We couldn't even see where Mega Man was. That also becomes an issue at times.
Yeah, enemies like these can be quite a lag fest. So he's gonna have to need to be careful how he goes through the rest of the area. We don't want any delay scrolls. And of course, we pretty much in the clear. Meanwhile, Coltaho is about to have his next entanglement with the dragon. Hopefully he'll stick with Buster after using quick boomerangs, which proves to be a failure. He's digging for weapons. He finds Leaf Shield, but there's a much better weakness in Buster. But he decides to stick with Leaf Shield. And pays the price. Coltaho having more dragon troubles, sadly. Meanwhile, we find that quick boomerangs are the weakness for the boobing this seed.
Yeah, definitely taking a lot of the quick boomerangs to get these boobings out.
It usually does. Whenever you have low ammo consumption weapons, it usually takes a lot more of a given weapon to take out boobing. Well, regardless of the matter, Metalow defeats Boobing and is on his way to the refights. Yet again, it's pretty much Metalow's game to lose. Coltaho doing some farming. Since he found Leaf Shield, he pretty much committed to using Leaf Shield as the means to try to beat Mega Dragon. And Leaf Shield is a pretty awkward weapon to use against Mega Dragon. I'm pretty surprised that he just doesn't try to use another weapon, especially Buster. Buster would probably normally be one of the first things to check, at least normally.
You'd always want to go to Buster first because even if the Buster isn't the best weakness, it's the one that's actually going to conserve the rest of the energy. And you don't have to really worry about wasting energy trying to fish to find, the weakness for the dragon.
Especially if it's something that's awkward to use as a Leaf Shield, which I don't know if it has reverse horizontal movement this time. But in the meanwhile, Metalow is still just gleefully taking out his robot masters. And looking at Coltaho's screen, it is the direction of the Leaf Shield is indeed reversed.
He took a jump that he didn't need to do a jump and got hit by the flame, and that just basically took him out.
The reversed horizontal Leaf Shields are really making this worse, because it forces him to actually move back towards the edge of a platform in order for him to actually throw the Leaf Shield in the direction that he wants. So it's like I said, needing to use an awkward weapon to defeat something that's really potentially dangerous in his point.
Yeah, he definitely should try to, go around a little bit more looking for something to use outside of that, because it's definitely using too much of him jumping and maneuvering when he's on such little blocks.
You also probably should remember that, aside from Buster, the Mega Dragon is weak to 2 weapons. Regardless if it's weak to Buster or not, sticking with one weapon may not be the smartest decision to use. And it seemed to be coming in really rough for Coltaho yet again.
Yeah, and I also just checked as he was scrolling through his weapons. He does not have a life left, so if he was to die here, he would game over and have to start from the very beginning.
Meanwhile, Metalow's about to fight his Wally machine, and we got yet another Buster weak machine. We really got to dig through these seeds a little better, get a little more variety, get some Buster immune stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and he jumped again as that flame came for the game over. Oh, that's rough.
it's just really, really hard to just watch such a pretty decent player just get tilted in this kind of fashion, because he just needs to do right, at least right now, is be a little more willing to check for other weaknesses and not just stick to the one. That's probably really the only thing that Coltaho just might needs to consider doing.
Yes, one big thing in Randomizer for a lot of us in general, especially during a race, is that when we do find something that we like, we usually kind of just stick to it, and that could be a blessing or it could be a curse at times. Either way, you know, things like what we're watching Coltaho do is just kind of rough to watch because it's just hurting them in the long run.
Meanwhile, Metalow is about to finish his alien fight. Right now, he's searching for weaknesses, looking through the usual suspects. He's running low on options. Is it gonna be heat? It's gonna be heat, I think. No, it's vanilla bubble again.
And he makes it look easy.
So, Metalow has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 36 minutes and 18 seconds. Securing his victory over Coltaho is securing his spot in the second bracket. So GG Metalow, solid overall performance. Meanwhile, we got Coltaho still trying to farm for life energy and weapon energy, just trying to defeat the dragon, which seems to be the overall bane of his existence this tournament race.
Between both Metalow's first race and second race, his times were only a little less than a minute apart. So good job with Metalow on taking both seeds, not knowing what the seeds were, and putting out a really good show for us.
See if we can get Metalow here for a short interview as we continue to monitor Coltaho's progress. And the Mega Man Magic strike again.
Yeah, it's so rough to watch, especially because we're on that side where we can't just go out and start yelling hints at him just to help him out, and watching him just go through it over and over. It's definitely, it's like I want to go through his screen and yell at him that Buster's gonna help him out.
But we gotta have faith in the ability of our runners to complete the seed and complete the fight. So I'm pretty sure Coltaho will be able to finish off Mecha Dragon at a given point. But at this point, we're just kind of hoping that he'll actually be able to finish him off, because it looks like he's gonna be Leaf Shield for life.
Yeah. Definitely.
Seems like I'm having a slight. Close.
So close.
He finally finds the weakness, but he traced the death with the Mega Dragon, and you do not get the benefit of the victory if you die to the Mega Dragon. That's gotta be a really, really bad feel.
Well, hopefully now that Coltaho knows what's going on, hopefully he could just easily get through this part and then finish this race with pride.
Seems like I'm finally got in contact with Metalow, so we should be having here for a quick interview in a little bit.
There we go, Coltaho.
So with Mecha Dragon down, Coltaho is finally able to join the ranks of Wally 2 as he makes quite a he has quite a little while before he finishes, but as long as he finishes, it's all good. Sometimes you just gotta be willing to finish. As he farms for more more item energies to continues on. Yeah, we're about to have Metalow come into the Discord, and speak of the which, here we are. GG's Metalow for finishing the race.
Hey guys, thanks.
GG's, Metalow.
So Metalow, what was the thing that stood out for you for these two races, these two Cs? What stuck out as one of the defining points of your runs?
First run, okay, but we don't gonna speak about the bird, and I just prefer suicide. That was weird. I don't know what I've done, but okay. Nothing to say on the first run, but on the second, I found the robots were pretty difficult and tough, especially because of the item 1 lock in Crashman. So no possibilities to avoid the pits by putting item 1 on Airman, and no zips possible with item 1, so it was kind of hard, I think. Plus a lot of Sniper Joes, which take 10 shots to kill, so it was pretty tough.
Yeah, the C really kind of want to pretty much put you on the Sniper Joe assembly line and just fill you with all of their Sniper Joe products, basically.
Yep, it was. Yeah, the second seed was really hard, I think. Not the hardest I have seen, but it was something weird to deal with, I think. That's my feeling about that.
Well, as our final entrant for our bracket reset, as Coltaho unfortunately takes us unfortunate shot from Pico Pico. How do you feel that now that your second bracket entry is secure?
I'm okay. I will be honest. If I lose today, it was really disappointing to me to not qualify. I think I will be disappointed if I didn't qualify to the second bracket. So that's okay to me. That's what I want. So now let's go.
I have a question. Just coming into this match, I know you had a really good match with Stuff and Things that went to the third round, and then you ended up coming down to the losers bracket to face Javeth, and then you became here. What was your mindset compared to those other two matches that you came into this match and pretty much just sped through it?
Nothing really different. I mean, I just play always the same. I'm going for the best strats, everything. So if I'm good on the day, that's okay. I can do 35 something. But if I'm not good on the day, it's a bad day and nothing goes well. I can do some mistakes and taking a lot of deaths. So, but I'm always going for the best strat I can. So I'm always play the same. Maybe just sometime taking another E-tank or something. Like in the second race, I didn't have any E-tank after the third robot, so I go to Metalman without item 1 and 2 to take the E-tank to be safe. But nothing else, I think. I'm always playing the same, I mean.
Definitely. Now going in, that you're going to be a part of the final brackets to basically determine who's going to be the winner of this race. Is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to hopefully racing in these last brackets, or anyone that maybe you want to seek revenge on for maybe some of the friendlier races you guys have done?
I mean, I'm afraid of players that are really irregular, like Stuff, Prodigy, and maybe other, because as I say, I go for the best strats I can, but regularity is one of my lack. So it could be a problem with against this guy. If I don't manage to do everything I want, they will be always better because they are regular and I'm not. So this is the people I fear on the other bracket. And I mean, if I have someone I want to play against, I will say it's Kame. Just because he plays Buster only, so it's a free win.
Wow! I'm pretty sure I don't think that's a call out.
I saw Kame in the chat earlier. Is he still here?
No. This is of course a joke. What I want to say is I am a Buster only player too for Mega Man 2. I saw Kame at the beginning when he started Mega Man 2. I go follow him a lot, and he's the Buster only god for all the games, and definitely if I'm against Kame on the bracket, I'm gonna go Buster only 2 against him.
So if y'all two eventually come to blows, are we gonna spec Buster only for all 3 races?
Yes, for me. So for Kame 2.
Oh snap! You heard that, folks? I'm gonna hold you to that, Metalow. Buster only randomizer run all 3 races, assuming y'all two come together. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I think it would be a great match to see what you guys do with pretty much absolutely nothing.
In the meanwhile, keeping up on Coltaho's progress, he has beaten Pico after some struggles a little bit, but he's gonna be on his way to Gusting very shortly. The enemies that were in Wily 3 were not a significant threat at all, so he's gonna be having a pretty simple time on his way to Gusting. I don't remember the weakness that was this.
Ooh.
Well then. Thanks for making me prove myself wrong, Coltaho. That was quite a thing you just showed me. But no, seriously, that was pretty unfortunate. He was a little too close to the spikes when he was trying to move to the left side to fill the gap. A little too careless, but it's all right. He'll recover. But anyway, for Metalow, I'm a little curious. What would you, of all the randomizers that you played up until this point, is there a specific enemy set that you begun to fear the most? I know you just like Coltaho, at least in this particular race, had to deal with a lot of fat fans, especially in Heatman stage, the second half. Is there a specific enemy set that you don't wish to never see at any given point?
I don't like fan guys. Yeah, of course, like everyone, I take a death in Hitman, but I don't have to take that. I want a boss buffer and I press B at the same time, so I launch a leaf shield and can't boss buffer, so I shouldn't have to die. But yeah, deal with fan guys is pretty hard, but I trained a lot about that, especially in, for example, Ready for Spike's room. But the enemies I don't want to see the most are like I had on this run, like a lot of Sniper Joes. I hate that because you didn't see them, and sometimes you take the hit and it does a lot of damage, especially in the armor. So I hate Sniper Joes and Armor Joes.
Yeah, these were actually pretty Sniper Joe heavy, so it was like they want to make their presence felt. They love to just hang around with you, Metalow.
The problem is, like I take a lot of damage boost. I don't try to kill everyone, so every time they deal a lot of damage. So it's a problem for me. I have to deal with it and sometimes kill them, lose time. And when I lose time, I try to, I don't know the word in English for that, so to repair that time lost, you know. And that's the way I do mistake after, so I don't like that.
Well, outside of yourself, obviously, because you're still in this race, is there anybody that you're, or any buddies that are still in this race that you want to see, you know, go towards the end?
I don't understand the question.
I was just asking if there was any of the people that are still going to be racing for this final bracket, any of your friends or someone that you're rooting for that you like that's a runner that you want to see go to like the finals, besides yourself, obviously.
You know, you mean my bet for someone go to the final?
No, yes, you could. Yeah, basically, yeah.
I may put a coin on Squidman. Of the runner I saw, is the most regular, but I didn't see everyone, so I can't say for everyone. But yeah. if I someone to put a coin, it will be Squidman.
Awesome.
Squidman is a pretty safe bet. He's easily one of the more recognized of the randomized runners and one of the usual suspects in the Sunday weeklies. But there are still quite a lot of potential killers in the second set of brackets. I'm gonna pull up the brackets and see, so we can recount all the people that are gonna be in the final bracket reset. Coming from Group A, you got myself, you got Charlie Boy, who is our tournament organizer, you got Daggett, you got X Apollo 2, you got Kumba, one of our strongest ROM hack runners, our aforementioned Squidman, who's one of the regulars, Stuffing Things, who actually put Metalow into losers by this point. He's moving on. Of course, we got our winner today, Metalow. We got Prodigy, we got MegaCal83, our resident Buster Warrior, Kame Senin, and Mad Mega X381. Those are our runners that are gonna be in our bracket reset and be in our double elimination round. So we got a lot of regulars, we got a lot of Mega Man experienced runners, and we may have ourselves a few other unknowns for our final part. So with all our names brought up, how do you think this grand finale is going to be? Don't all speak up at once now.
Oh, was this for me or was this for Meta?
It's pretty much for both of you guys.
I mean, I've seen I would like to say I've seen about a good 75 to 80% of the matches. And so far, some of the matches I've seen have been really, really good. I mean, there was some that were just going down to the literal second. And it was really amazing to watch. It's also amazing to see how different the randomizer can change in every seed that goes on. That I'm mostly excited to see as we get into the winners, you know, brackets and even the losers brackets of the guys who have moved on are gonna have to start, you know, really putting the pedal to the metal when these seeds come in, because you're gonna start facing the best of the best. in this tournament bracket, and you know it's very, 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 very little room for error at all when it comes to this. So I'm really excited to see people pull off. I'm very positive we're going to see a lot of game threes. I'm very positive we're going to see a lot of, you know, second apart matches, and it's really exciting to see that. And I'm hoping a lot of people tune in for these next brackets, because they're definitely going to be some of the fucking greatest ones to see.
Whoa, watch yourself now.
Yeah. Sorry.
Be sure to get yourself some Irish Spring after this.
Yeah. Definitely gonna put a tapatio in my mouth.
So what about you, Metalow? You say you got Squidman as your favorite. You want to face Kame Sennin at some point, hopefully. But with the list of people that I named, do you expect some good matches in the near future?
Of course, because the players who qualified are probably the best of the tournament, according to to the bracket. So yeah, we saw a lot of people that can do like 35. So we're gonna see close matches and pretty awesome things. I'm sure. We're gonna see a lot of item one stationary zip.
We may see a few of those along the lines, but yeah, we got ourselves a good set of randomizer runners in these last 12 players. Of course, in the final brackets, since it's a bracket redraw and the numbers of players are somewhat uneven, there's going to be a few players, 4 players that potentially could have a bye. So there's going to be a chance that there may be some that might have a slight easier road to the winners finals and eventually the grand finals. But with this kind of setup, you can really not count anyone out, and you cannot even count a bye as an advantage, thanks to the fact that, of course, it's a randomizer. Anything and everything can go, so you don't know what in the world is going to happen in any of these races that are coming up very soon. So I hope everyone will be excited for it. We had ourselves a little bit of a slow going, but now the stage is set, everything is on the line, everything must go. We're gonna have ourselves a good old-fashioned bloodbath between these 12 rando warriors. I'm getting hyped. Let's go. I want to get started now. When's the redraw?
That was the next question I'm gonna ask. When was it? I want to know. I want to prepare.
Yes, I'm definitely interested in seeing what the next matchups are. It's gonna be awesome.
And yeah, I don't want to be by.
Yeah, hopefully
I want to play.
Hopefully within maybe the next week or so, we're probably gonna have our tournament organizer Charlie Boy get our redraw set so we can have our next scheduled matches coming up really soon. As we said, this is the last of the group stages. So once everything is settled, the dust is cleared out, and we get our brackets re-squared away, we'll probably immediately have our matches scheduled, hopefully. Meanwhile, Coltaho is still trucking on through like the good rando soldier he is, and gonna fight the Wilder Machine, which, of course, is Buster Week.
And not, of course, tomorrow, this afternoon I did 3 runs, and they were all Buster immune. That was weird.
The luck of the race.
I mean, it's always in race. It's always in race they are Buster weak, but when you train they are Buster immune.
Yeah, what can we say? That's the fate that Rando gives. But yeah, Coltaho's going for his final stretch. About to fight ourselves a vanilla weak alien, weak to bubble. It looks like he's gonna forego adding more weapons to his ammo supply, and just gonna go in gung ho. Hopefully finding the weakness, and it's not one of the low resource weapons that he probably has low of. So let's see how quickly Coltaho finds his weakness. So of course you start with Buster. Of course that's not it. Digs through heat. Not it. Keep digging. Not air. Come on, keep digging. Worst case scenario. Not worst case. Best case scenario. Vanilla bubble. So Coltaho to be finished very shortly, assuming he doesn't get overly plunked by our alien here. And there we go. GG to Coltaho. He finishes his run with official SRL time of 1 hour and 26 minutes. Good job for sticking it out, Coltaho.
Yeah, GG.
See if we can get Coltaho in here for his interview. Of course, like we said, since Metalow has already finished, Coltaho is unfortunately eliminated from the randomizer tournament, and he'll take his place in the spectator seats. So we give ourselves a quick minute here. Ah, there we go. Coltaho, how you doing?
Hey, doing all right.
This particular set of matches was, for lack of a better term, pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, the seeds themselves, there's a lot of it that wasn't that bad. There's a few tricky things, but...
Yeah, it seemed like one of the major things that wound up tripping you most, the Mecha Dragon just seemed to have it out for you.
Yeah, both matches, it was like that. And I think the biggest thing is when you have a backwards leaf, you have to go backwards to shoot it, but at the same time you're walking the incorrect way, so it was really throwing me off.
Yeah, so aside from the Mega Dragon, what were the other things within these two races that stuck out to you? Was there anything that kind of tickled your fancy a little bit?
I think the biggest thing was the paratrooping shrimp that just were hiding behind the clouds.
Yeah, the crabs in air. As I was telling Matt Philly, those are one of my most despised enemies. One of my most despised enemies in stage combination. Crabs in air is just one of the worst things to experience. And I believe now that you experience yourself, you could possibly agree with me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think everyone that's raced a randomizer can agree with all of us when we talk about those crabs and airman.
But honestly, there wasn't a whole lot that was crazy. None of the bosses, other than Dragon, were really that hard. Got to Buster only Wily Machine both phases for both seeds, so.
Well, with this, we unfortunately gonna have to say goodbye to you. Of course, as we kept repeating, this was a winner go home match. Metalow did defeat you 2-0. So, what was your takeaway throughout the tournament? Did you have fun? Did you think you could have done better? Was there some unfun things? What was your experience in the tournament like?
I think overall, I had a lot of fun. I noticed this before where I haven't been practicing nonstop like a lot of people have on Rando. Like, I enjoy it, it's fun, but I haven't been putting my all into it. And that kind of shows a little bit. I think there's some things that you can see, oh, well, I know what I'm doing, some of the time, but there's other things I could have handled a little well with more experience. So overall, I had a lot of fun. Metalow is an amazing player overall, like in everything he does. So.
Thank you. But GG to you too, of course. The seed were not easy, I think, really. And I trained a lot, so yeah, there's some room. I know what to do, but yeah, sometimes it's really hard to deal with what's happened.
Yeah, definitely have to think on your feet.
You got anything to add, Matt Philly?
I guess the only thing I would have to say for Coltaho is that what would you want to improve when the next, if you decide to come to another randomizer race for Mega Man? Is there anything you want to improve to better yourself for the next tournament?
I'll probably just do a few more practice seeds throughout the week just to keep myself fresh.
Okay, awesome.
So thank you, Coltaho and Metalow, for our races. Y'all entertained us a lot. Of course, follow our runners. They gave up their time to entertain you for their randomizer shenanigans. Of course, if you really, really want to, you can follow Matt, Philly, and I. But of course, we're not important. It's always the runners that are most important. And of course, you can always try to follow the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament through our tournament Discord. So, of course, follow the links at your own leisure, and hopefully, we'll be back very soon with our second brackets filled out and our scheduling up to par. But of course, we want to thank Speed Gaming for allowing us to have these randomizer races, allow us to showcase the Mega Man 2 randomizer in this fashion. Of course, you want to thank SRL for being there for official timings and such. Thank Duckfist for creating the randomizer in and of itself, who pretty much painstakingly and lovingly put all his knowledge into this randomizer. And of course, once again, I want to do this again. Thank our runners, Coltaho and Metalow, for entertaining us.
Thanks.
Of course.
and thank you for commentate, of course.
Yes, of course. And Matt Philly commentated with me. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. I had a blast. It's always been fun to watch these guys, fight to the death.
Well, fight to the end. I'm not sure they're going to literally kill each other over this. Hopefully not. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. We're getting into the next bracket. Definitely going to see some.
We all love each other.
But yeah, we're pretty much wrapping things up here. So for our runners, Coltaho and Metalow, for Met Philly, this is LV Cree. Keep your eyes and ears tuned in for when the next set of randomizer matches will commence. Remember, the second bracket will be up and will be starting very soon. So keep your eyes and ears open. So until then, this is our crew, LV Cree, for everyone else, signing out. Good night, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.